Hey again, this is Robert with Clean Pool and Spa, and in this video I'm going to be discussing your pool chemicals and their proper ranges. So just to give you a little history of why the ranges are what they are. This comes, a lot of it comes from the Langelier Index. You can go ahead and Google that. That comes from Professor Wilfred Langelier. And residential pools, modern day residential pools, didn't really come into fashion until after World War II in Korea. All these kids went to war, they came back, they didn't want to live with mom and dad, and so they moved out, and that's where suburbs started, urban sprawl. So you have a house, you have a backyard, so what am I going to do with my backyard? Well, let's put a pool in there. And well, you need to balance it in some way. You know, the water needs to be balanced because everyone's pool's turning green. And so the Langelier Index was introduced as a tool, as a mechanism on how to balance a swimming pool. And through the last 50, 60 years and however many millions of pools, they found that these ranges are the best. So we're going to start off with chlorine. Chlorine is a sanitizer for your pool, and that needs to be between 1.5 to 3.5 parts per million. Now you may have heard 1 to 3 parts per million. I like to bump it up just a little bit more to give yourself just that little extra buffer. But 1.5 to 3.5 parts per million is good. Next is the combined chlorine. Now the combined chlorine should be 0.0. What is combined chlorine? Also known as chloramines. Okay, well, you have organic matter and you have chlorine, and the chlorine comes along and it kills the organic matter. What is organic matter? It's sweat, spit, urine, leaves, grass clippings, dog hair, you know, kind of anything that falls into the pool like that. So you have free chlorine and you have the total chlorine, and that's the combined chlorine. And that needs to be 0.0. If it's anything over that, if you have an outdoor pool, then you need to shock the pool. The YMCA pool that I took care of in Oregon was an 80,000 gallon salt pool. It was an indoor pool, and I would shock the pool after the chloramines would get 0.6 for 3 consecutive days. That's when I knew it was time to shock the pool. Next is the chlorine, combined chlorine, pH. That needs to be between 7.4 to 7.8. Anything over about 8.0, 8.2 and over, and your chlorine really takes a nosedive. You're only using about 25% of the chlorinating property. Anything, once you get down to 7.0, 6.8, it's a little too acidic to swim in. So the proper ranges is where I kept my pools on my pool route, and also the YMCA pool. I try to keep it between 7.4 to 7.8, and that seemed to work very, very well. Next is the total alkalinity. That needs to be between 80 to 100, 120 being the top. And that's pretty simple, and that's pretty straightforward. And then the calcium hardness, you want to keep between 150 to 250 parts per million. And then the cyanuric acid, which is a stabilizer for your chlorine. You have cyanuric acid, stabilizer, conditioner, it's all the same thing. You want to keep that between 30 to 50 parts per million. And if you don't have this test kit, I suggest you get a Taylor K2006 pool water test kit. It's a Taylor FASDPD K2006 pool water test kit. Use it, learn how to use it. That will be your best friend in testing for your chlorine, combined chlorine, pH, alkalinity, calcium hardness, and cyanuric acid, and keeping them in the right range. So hope this helps you out a little bit. I am Robert with Clean Pool and Spa. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy swimming and safe swimming. Bye.